Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living. Yes, it's the guy from the internet. I hope you guys are doing all right this morning. I wanted to give you kind of an update as to the urinary catheter situation and all that related to my prostate problem. Monday, I had another appointment with my urologist. I went Friday, and then I went back Monday. Friday, I wanted to leave the urinary catheter in place over the weekend in case there was any problems, and just to see how my bladder would do if it would relax and feel normally. Seemed to do okay over the weekend. So Monday morning we went 8:30, 9 o'clock to my urologist, and they took out the urinary catheter and did what is called a fill and pass, F-I-L-L, and pass. They inject 250 mLs of saline into my bladder through the urinary catheter, and then withdraw it, and then see how much urine I could pass naturally. And this is all interesting, and some people won't talk about it or don't talk about it or are embarrassed, so I figure this is a good subject for us men to talk about. And of the 250 milliliters that they had pushed it into my bladder, I was able to produce about 100. So 50%. So that was kind of a fail. And the urologist said it could be because your bladder is just not used to pushing anymore, and or it still could be expanded. And he said we can do several things. We can put the IV catheter or the urinary catheter back in place, and you can go about your business. We can try it in a week, or you can try to do a self-catheterization. Now guys, that was something. They showed me how to. I said let's do that. And the catheter is about 20 inches long, and I'll show you one in one of the other videos because they gave me boxes of them and showed me how to do it on me. And there is discomfort with it. Yes, you put the catheter, it's called self-catheterization. So they put the catheter through the urethra, or I do, into the bladder, and it goes in further than you think. So out of 20 inches, 14 inches go inside you. Yes. And then you urinate, you pee. And I normally drink a lot of water because I work in hot environments, and this is the problem. So I drink a lot of water. 10 or 12 bottles of water, I would say, a day in these hot environments, and more. So that was in the back of my mind, but I thought, it's no problem. I'm a big boy, I can do this. Well, this big boy did it 3 times throughout Monday. The last self-catheter I was able to pass was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I tried again before we went to bed. And you guessed it, nothing happened. I tried to push it in and not force anything, but run it through, let's say. And there was blood in the catheter. And I thought, well, this is going to be an eventful night. So told Shauna, and so we hopped back in the car, went back to the emergency room, and pulled up, got out. I won't say the name of this emergency room because of what I'm about to tell you. And went in, registered, and I've got insurance. I've got good insurances. You know, that's nice. The co-payments are killing me, but you know, we have good insurance. And the lady at the desk, she said, "Oh, y'all are back." Yeah. And she said, are you doing any better? I said, well, and I told her what all happened. And she said, oh, okay. She said, well, we're really busy. so it's going to be a while. I said, she said, can you pee? I said, I cannot pee at all. I haven't peed in 7 hours. And I said, and there is pain. And she said, what level? 1 to 10. And I said, about a 7. And she said, oh, okay. Sat me down. We, did the paperwork, sat down, and I was sitting there. And one of the technicians called me over into the other room. I thought they were going to get blood work and everything. And she called me into the room. They did an ultrasound of my bladder, and they said, holy cow, your bladder is almost full again, or it's huge. It's almost as full as it was last time. There was 1,100 mLs of urine in my bladder this time, which is still twice as much as most men have. Normally it's 500 or 600. And she said, I'll go get the nurse, and we'll be back in just a second. And the nurse came in, and she said, hey, and they kind of know me. Hey, Darren, how are you? I said, kind of rough. And she said, your bladder is really full. She said, we have a 7-hour wait before you can get in the bed, get in a exam room, and then see the doctor. She said, the doctor told me if you wanted me to, I could put in your urinary catheter right here, right now. And I said, let's do it. And I hopped up on the table. And the funny thing about pain is it removes all of your inhibitions, let's say. So there was a pretty little Latina phlebotomist in there, and the nurse and everything. I pulled my pants down, hopped up on the table, and I said, put a catheter in me. And she said, okay, no problem. Went and talked to the doctor, came back with a kit, and she said, don't tell anybody that we did this, because everybody else is in line, but if we don't get your bladder emptied, it's going to be really bad. So placed the urinary catheter, no problem, hooked everything back up, and I passed 1,100 mLs of urine again. And doctor kind of stuck a head around the corner and said, same thing, when you going back to see your urologist? I said, 1 week. He said, call them and let them know. I said, okay, thanks. And he headed off. They put the catheter in, and she said, okay. I said, well, what do I do now? Do I go back in the waiting room and wait? She said, no. She said, just between me and you, why don't you go home? Because that's all you came here for. I said, yeah. I said, I don't need drugs or anything. I just needed to pee. She said, go back in and tell the receptionist that you would like to withdraw. Check yourself out. And I said, yes, ma'am. So we did exactly that and drove home. And here I sit with the urinary catheter in place. I had called, one thing I forgot to mention, I had called the after hours number for my urologist. And about an hour later, after I called them, we got in the car and started heading, because the emergency room's about an hour from where we are, the good one. And they called while we were driving, and I talked to the on-call doctor, and he says, just letting you know up front, I don't have access to any of your records. He said, tell me what you got. And I told him, I said, I tried to pass the self-catheter. I couldn't get it all the way through. He said, your bladder is probably really full, and it wouldn't. And he said, you said there was blood in it. And I said, yes. And he said, brother, you going to the emergency room? And I said, I'm almost there now. He said, okay. And hung up. Now, the tip for you guys, don't think that they will type this in and it will be in your records, because it won't be half the time. I had to call this morning, or yesterday morning, to make sure that it was added to my history, so the doctor, my urologist, would know. And that's one of the things that just can get dropped in the thing. I still have my appointment for next Monday, and we will see. But I'm still doing the good stuff, taking the Flomax. They doubled the dosage, so I'm taking 2 of those a day. They've continued drinking lots of water. Everything in moderation, all the good stuff. I finished up the pain meds, which I don't really need the pain meds anymore. And now we're just kind of wait and see, doing a lot of natural anti-inflammatories, doing a lot of the turmeric tonics. I think you've seen the videos that I do on them. And we're just kind of hanging out and just continuing to let the bladder heal. That is where we sit. I feel well enough to go to work, so today I'm gonna go to work. It's gonna be eventful, kind of. I'm gonna drive about 5 hours, do a job, and then come home. So it will be kind of a long day. Not a lot of physical activity, but just a lot of driving. Interestingly enough, they said my bladder, my prostate is enlarged, but there is no pain in my case, or sensitivity or anything like that. For those of you guys who have had prostate problems, you'll know what I mean. There's no discomfort or pain as far as that goes. It is just clamping around my urethra. Interesting. So it affects different people differently. Diet, exercise, hereditary, which, I eat very well. Was going to the gym 4 times a week. So I kind of held off on that, on doing any of the, free weights or anything like that. I just got to get some more information before I start doing that. Quit doing all the walking and that I was doing, because I was doing about a half mile a day, just walking when I finished up with the workout. There we sit. It's interesting to think about all the preps that you have set aside and everything, and something like this can really take you down and debilitate you. So everything that I had, I knew what was going on, but I didn't have the stuff to fix it. So yes, self-catheters are a thing, and I will keep a supply of them now. And a lot of the stuff you can buy from medical supply companies if you feel froggy enough and are knowledgeable enough to do it. It's a good idea to have someone in your group who is medically proficient, be that I highly recommend RNs. If you can't get an honest to good doctor, or LPN and everything, someone that's trained in this, because it will save your life in this certain situations. Because if you can't pee, you're gonna die. That's the way it is. Anyway, I'm getting back to normal, and everything's are going along. I'm feeling well enough. I've actually did a little bit of plumbing work yesterday around the house, so I knew I was able enough to go to work. I'm not incredibly physically active when I'm at work, but I might climb 6 flights of stairs, maybe climb up a ladder or 2 with some of my equipment. So it's a little rigorous, but not terribly. It's a whole lot of driving and just some walking around with equipment. There you sit. That is my update. Everything is going pretty good. I feel great, other than the fact that I've got the urinary catheter still in place. Hopefully, with time and medications, the prostate will shrink down, and we'll be able to remove this urinary catheter and proceed on with life, just probably staying on the Flomax forever. There we go. Thanks for your thoughts, your comments, your prayers. No, I don't need anything other than your prayers, guys. I was trying to think of any kind of updates. Been doing a bunch of different stuff around the house, and we have a lot of other updates besides these. We're getting ready to start the hydroponics again because the garden is finished up pretty much. My seed selling is going pretty good. So that's another thing that's been kind of keeping me busy, catching up on stuff around the house and the property. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Take care of you people.